Yo, what's up guys, and welcome back for my week 9 team preparation video for the UCL. Now this time I'm taking on Jay and the Carolina Keldeos. I of course am, Poke-Aim and coach of the Bronx Beartics. Now, if you are new to how I do my team preparation, or how I make my team, I typically do my best to make a team of 6 that can take on any combination of 6 that Jay wants to bring. By that I mean that if Jay wants to bring Sylveon, Zygarde, Victini, Fortress, Honchkrow, and Mega Blastoise, I can deal with those 6. Or if he wants to bring Blastoise, Registeel, Golbat, Sneasel, Fortress, and Honchkrow, as well as I always miscount the second one because I just don't think about it as much. But basically, if he wants to bring any combination of Pokemon, I make sure I have a way of dealing with them. Doesn't always help if you don't play too well. I've definitely lost because of that, but you know what? It's time for the comeback, guys. Definitely time for the comeback. 2 losses in a row. You know, a little fact for you guys, I guess, and it's not an excuse, it's just something, I guess, funny because I've noticed it. One, my mic is broken. That's not the funny part. That sucks. You know, if you laughed at that, wow, you're mean. But the funny thing is that in all tournaments that I have joined, for example, Smogon, SBL, I've always lost 2 weeks in a row before bouncing back. Like, I usually lose 1 week, and then I would lose another week, and then I bounce back. So hopefully I keep up that tradition and and bounce back. Of course, you know, it's just coincidence, obviously, but that's what's been happening whenever I played in SPL. But yeah, anyway, so Jay has a very, very scary team. He has some very scary threats. While he does have Pokemon like Ludicolo and Electabuzz, which I feel I should not neglect to prep for, just because those are actually threats. Ludicolo being able to check Manaphy, Electabuzz also being able to check Manaphy, outspeeding him, and my team doesn't have the best electric resists. It kind of does. I mean, it has Fabio, and as you can see, I am bringing him. But you know what? Let's actually just go right into the team. This week I actually built with my boy McMegan. If you guys don't know him, there's no link to his channel. He's a good friend of mine, and he's a mod on Smogon, and I decided to hit him up. Just gonna adjust this really quickly because I don't want this to be in your way. I'll keep it on the side, but again, I just don't want this to be in the way as I'm going over the team. Let me just put it on the bottom, actually. Nice. Okay, it looks fine down there. I can edit it to the side if I feel like it later. But anyway, the first thing I noticed when I saw Jay's team is he only has, like, his form of hazard control is something I can see at plain sight. It's like, I mean, I guess he could bring Defog Honchkrow. I think it gets Defog. I'm pretty sure it does get Defog. But main form of hazard control is Rapid Spin Fortress, as well as Rapid Spin Blastoise. He also has Golbat, of course, which does have Defog. He has been known to run that in the past. But when I saw his team, I really, really, really wanted to bring Spikes because he's very weak to them. He has a lot of passive Pokemon like Sylveon. Of course, he could bring a Spec Sylveon and it hits way harder. But he has a lot of slow, bulkier Pokemon such as Sylveon, Registeel, Fortress. Zygarde is kind of slow and very bulky indeed. So I thought that Spikes would be very nice versus his team. When I saw his team, immediately I wanted to bring a Selgor. I don't have the nicknames on them. I do have nicknames when I'll battle though, but I don't have the nicknames on them just yet, just because I was a little bit pressed for time. You know, S1W9, Beartics, Hard Body, 83%, Horsepower, and Fabio. But those are the nicknames if you didn't know. But yeah, I really wanted to bring a Selgor. Now, like I said, I wanted Spikes, so I brought Spikes on it. Bug Buzz is pretty good stab in general versus his team, hitting Victini for neutral, Honchkrow for neutral, Blastoise for neutral, and of course Zygarde for neutral. And Final Gambit is something I definitely wanted to bring because Max HP Selgor can take out Pokemon like Max HP Registeel. They can also Spin Block. Final Gambit also is a nice spin block, and I can go out to something to abuse the fact that hazards are up. For example, if he brings in Blastoise, as I have a Selgor out in the field, I get up my Spike, I Final Gambit. If I'm not at full HP, obviously I cannot knock him out, but I can do a hell of a lot to him and then bring out Manaphy, maybe scare him out with the chance of an Energy Ball, and proceed to set up a Tail Glow and do some work to his team. I also put HP Fire on this Selgor just because if he brought Fortress, I wanted to be able to 2-KO it pretty easily and then get up Spikes as well as that. I was thinking about Encore on the set, but I only run it if I feel like I really need it, because a lot of people do predict the Encore, which is why I typically tend to not run it. I've run it a couple times when I felt that it was definitely necessary versus my opponent, when I felt like any other coverage move wouldn't really help me. But I decided on this I would bring HP Fire, Bug Buzz, Final Gambit, Spikes. I didn't think I needed Encore. Like I said, HP Fire weakens Fortress and also can 2-hit KO it. Now the spread I'm running, not that much speed this week, because the fastest Pokemon on his team is actually his Sneasel. This of course is not including Choice Scarf Pokemon. But I do have him Burden plus Focus Sash, so if he brings me down to my Sash, my speed will be doubled, so I do outspeed his entire team. I ran near max special attack, and then I ran max HP just because I wanted to be able to get rid of Registeel, I wanted to be able to get rid of Blastoise, I wanted to be able to get rid of his, or at least do as much as I can to his high HP Pokemon. Of course, Sylveon can live if it's running max HP, a Final Gambit, but again, a weakened Sylveon is really nice for my team. Now, because I am running Spikes, I decided to bring Manaphy this week. I'm actually packing a Wakandberry because his way of dealing with Manaphy is honestly either wearing it down with his passive Pokemon, such as Registeel, Seismic Toss, or I guess Sylveon's Hyper Voice, which doesn't do... It's strong, even if he's a defensive type. Again, I apologize if you hear my mic just clapping around. I do have tape. I'm going to hold it right here, that way I'm going to hold it with one hand. Oh my god, it looks like I'm Vegeta. Vegeta. What does this counter say about his power level? Oh my god, I almost messed it up too. I forgot it. It's been a little while. But obviously I don't have face cam. I don't have a webcam. But yeah, anyway, I decided to bring Wakandberry because, like I said, his best way of dealing with this Manaphy is either Victini's Bolt Strike or Thunder, or Electabuzz's Thunderbolt / Volt Switch, as well as, you know, passive Pokemon wearing me down. Of course, Ludicolo is a Pokemon that can definitely take on any variant of Manaphy, which is why I'm bringing Tail Glow, Surf, Energy Ball, and Signal Beam. Shouts to my boy McMegan. Originally I was going to bring Ice Beam, but he suggested Signal Beam, which is a really good call on his part because it deals with Ludicolo, which is like one of the few Pokemon that Jay has for Manaphy. Decided I didn't need Scald because Surf gets KOs. I have enough special attack, that way at +3 I can knock out Zygarde after a Spike. I can do a hell of a lot to basically the rest of his team. Ludicolo drops the +3 Signal Beam unless he has Assault Vest, which of course I do have hazards for, and as you can see I do have Amoonguss on this team, so I can deal with that. And I just put the rest in bulk because it's always good. I mean, if I don't need my EVs, might as well invest them into bulk. So just enough special attack, that way I can knock out Zygarde after a Spike. I do 88% minimum. No, I do 89% minimum, I believe, with Surf. So 88% is what Zygarde comes in on, or is at, when a Spike hits it. So Energy Ball obviously to hit Blastoise, which is one of his few water resists, and Signal Beam obviously smacks Ludicolo. And yeah, so I'm expecting Manaphy to definitely do some work versus his team. I feel like if I get up a Spike and lead off with Manaphy, and McMegan and I were talking about this, because when I was talking to him I was like, okay, I wanted to bring a Selgor plus Manaphy plus Reuniclus and start hurting his team as much as I could. Again, this is just my game plan going into it. I haven't battled him yet, but hopefully it works how I want. But like I said, Manaphy can actually power through his team because his way of beating it is probably sacking something or going out to Ludicolo if he brings Ludicolo, and then that goes down to +3 Signal Beam. Victini cannot knock me out with either a Banded or a Choice Scarf Bolt Strike, or even a Choice Specs Thunder, simply because of my Wakandberry. If he's Banded, that's why I went max speed, because I wanted to at best speed tie with his Victini, and if he's Scarf, of course, I take less than half from his Bolt Strike. So Wakandberry looking really nice. Manaphy definitely has a lot of opportunity to sleep. Now I decided to bring Trick Room Hard Body, or my Reuniclus. Now they said I ended up running was Trick Room, Psyshock, Focus Blast, and HPI. Psyshock does more to Sylveon than a Psychic does, just because Sylveon is really bulky on the special defensive side. Focus Blast is just there to hit Sneasel if he wants to bring it. Originally I was running Trick Room, Psyshock, Shadow Ball, and HP Ice. Shadow Ball, of course, to hit Victini, knocking it out after a bit of hazard damage. And I really did not want to be walled by Sneasel, and also Registeel could be a bit of an issue, and I decided that I would run Focus Blast just to do a bit more damage. Of course, it is one of the 2 inaccurate moves on my team, so I don't always expect to hit it. But this has some nice sweeping potential versus his team. With hazards up, I really 2-hit KO everything. HP Ice can get rid of Honchkrow. It does 90% minimum, so with Stealth Mark up, Honchkrow dies. Of course, Honchkrow can knock me out with Sucker Punch, Adamant Sucker Punch. But who knows, man? If I get up Trick Room, who knows if he's going to go right for Sucker Punch. Just because I do have Fabio on the team, as you guys can see, you know, going a little bit down. But as well as the fact that HP Ice can deal with Zygarde, I really am scared of Zygarde because a boosted Zygarde can deal with my team. So as you can see, I did prep for it, and because I'm not running Ice Beam on Manaphy, the reason I didn't want to bring Ice Beam is because he's more likely he's running Yachi Berry Zygarde. I honestly expect him to bring that because I have Weavile, I have Tornadus with Icy Wind. Obviously, I'm not bringing them this week, which could be bad, but I want it to be a bit more aggressive, so or a more offensively based team. I didn't want to be. Yes, I do have a Mungus, which can pivot in on his Fairy, which is why I wanted to bring it. Sylveon is a threat and a half, but I do have a lot of offensive presence on this team. I'm not running my Calm Mind, Reuniclus, I'm running Trick Room. And yeah, Focus Blast hits Fortress as well, doing a lot of damage. I got a text, who is this? Doing a lot of damage to him. And let me just get rid of my phone real quick. But doing a lot of damage to Fortress, and as well as hitting Registeel and Sneasel, which was the main point. And of course, being just a Psychic type, I already take on Primeape, as well as Reuniclus is just bulky as hell anyway, so I can set up a Trick Room versus the majority of his team. I can live a +1 Outrage, and I can go for HP Ice to knock him out. Of course, if he is Yachi, which is what I'm expecting, I need a bit of prior damage. But the next Pokemon on my team is my Amoonguss, my 83%. Now, the reason I brought this Pokemon is because he does have that Sylveon, and I don't really have good Fairy Resists on my team. It's different than last week because Nappy had Gardevoir, and Gardevoir obviously shares the Psychic typing alongside the Fairy, so I didn't think Amoonguss was a good bet versus them. But this week I thought it really would be good because the best thing that Sylveon can hit me with is Spec Psyshock, and it is a 2-hit KO, yes, but even with a crit, it cannot knock me out. So I can always pivot around if he does hit me with Spec Psyshock, if he is running Specs. But the spread I ran is enough, that way I can take Hydro Pump plus an Ice Beam from a Mega Blastoise. I am 2-hit KO'd, yes, by Ludicolo's Ice Beam, but if I am inside versus Ludicolo, if Ludicolo switches into me, if it takes a Giga Drain plus Sludge Bomb, it goes down. I ran HP Ice because I can take a +1 Zygarde attack, so even if he has a Yachi Berry, I don't think HP Ice will 2-hit KO Zygarde just because it's that bulky, but I will be able to get off at least 80% within 2 HP Ices, so I basically have to HP Ice him twice. But he would more than likely DD up on my Amoonguss anyway, and like let's say he just tries to DD up on my Amoonguss. I could also Spore, but of course I don't want to risk a Lumberry. Giga Drain, obviously, to take on Blastoise, and then Sludge Bomb hits Victini for decent damage. It also checks Ludicolo. And this Pokemon is definitely good versus his team just because he has Sylveon. And again, he doesn't really have much to come in a Spore besides Ludicolo and maybe an Overcoat Fortress or Insomnia Honchkrow. I believe it gets Insomnia. I know it gets Super Luck, and I know it gets the other thing. Holy crap, man, I have so many texts. Stop it. Let's look it up because I've been talking about Honchkrow. I'm pretty sure I am, but I just want to be 100% positive because I really don't want to be talking. Yeah, he does get Insomnia, and he also gets Defog. Pretty sure. Yep, he does. Okay, cool. So it's something to look out for. Obviously, I just don't want to be talking just to talk. But yeah, that's my spread. To take on Sylveon, not be 2-hit KO'd by Specs Hyper Voice. With a bit of hazard damage, and after recovery I'm not 2-hit KO'd, so even after rocks, after recovery I'm not 2-hit KO'd. HP Ice for Zygarde because like I said, I'm pretty scared of Zygarde, and of course Spore is just really nice versus his team. Now the next Pokemon on my team is my Cobalion, my Horsepower. I am running Stealth Rock, HP Ice, Close Combat, and Stone Edge with a Jolly nature. Yes, I know I'm running Jolly, but and which does cut my special attack, but after a spike I do 2-hit KO Cobalion with HP Ice anyway. Now the reason I'm running Air Balloon is because if Cobalion does set up, the only thing he can hit me with, if he sets up on any member of my team, all my members on my team can hit him hard. I can Bug Buzz and do a lot to him. Of course, I do have Unburden, Focus Sash. Surf does a lot. This thing can blow him back. Amoonguss specifically is the Pokemon that I could see him setting up on. Maybe my Manaphy if I have not Tail Glowed. But again, if I get off the HP Ice damage with this, my Cobalion can take him out after. And I have Air Balloon because then he's forced to either Outrage or Extreme Speed to break that Air Balloon. HP Ice can take him on. I have Stone Edge with 112 attack investment because it means I take out Honchkrow with Stone Edge after rocks. Close Combat is a 2-hit KO on Registeel, which is why I also have that attack investment. And just enough speed, that way I outspeed Electabuzz because the fastest Pokemon after that is Sneasel, which I in no way outspeed. And I ran rocks on this thing. I didn't feel it was necessary to run Iron Head just because rocks helps a lot with KOs. Not that I'm necessarily going for rocks in this game, just because it might be hard to get up rocks when I'm on an Air Balloon if I want to keep my Air Balloon. So I decided that rocks would be good just in case anyway. Holy crap, how many texts is this? Let me see. 8 messages, great, 2 minutes. My business partner is really wants to talk to me. I'll look at it later. But yeah, basically, it's more of a supportive set. I kind of took from the standard support set, did some calcs. This also checks Sneasel pretty well. Sneasel is a bit of a threat to me. It can't OHKO any of the members on my team, and they can all hit it really hard back, but I definitely wanted to backup check the Sneasel. I could take a low kick, life orb low kick. It is a little bit scary though if he does bring Sneasel plus Zygarde, because Zygarde can be an issue if my air balloon is popped. But I definitely wanted to bring Cobalion. It 2 KOs Registeel, like I said, which could have been an issue. Stone Edge does about 44% minimum to Victini, so if a bit of you know, V-create defense drops, a bit of hazard damage, I can knock him out. It's not really for Victini, it's more so for Honchkrow. It's just good support versus him. I guess it hits Golbat as well, but I'm not really too worried about Golbat just because Reuniclus deals with it, Manaphy can deal with it. And my last member on the team is my Fabio, the Rest Talk, the original Fabio, max HP, max defense. This is my Victini switching. Even if he's running special with Glaciate, it will not be able to 2KO me with V-Create plus Glaciate. This checks Honchkrow. Honchkrow being an issue. It can also take a hit from Blastoise, even a Dragon Pulse. In regular form, Ampharos actually walls Sneasel, so if he does bring Sneasel, I don't have to necessarily Mega Evolve. But now he's calling me. Okay, I'll have to pick up later. I don't have to necessarily Mega Evolve versus it. And this also can wall Primate, which of course my Amoonguss does do. And Golbat, it walls it indefinitely. I can Rest Talk. The best thing it can do is honestly just Super Fang me, which I have Rest, and Volt Switch do a hell of a lot. I want to Volt Switch over Thunderbolt, and I wanted to run this over to Focus last set just for a little longevity, honestly. Be able to take on Honchkrow as well as Registeel, as well as Electabuzz. And Victini mostly. A Banded Victini could be scary with a bit of prior damage to me, but I will. I'm pretty sure I can deal with it. But yeah, basically, I feel I'm okay prepared for Jay. I'm definitely thinking that Spikes plus Manaphy can definitely do a lot of work versus team. I know I said definitely like 5 times, but that is about it for the team building video. I'm actually gonna leave it at that because my business partner just tried to call me and left like 10 messages. So I want to, obviously get back to him. But yeah, I hope you guys all enjoy. Feel free to leave a like if you did. Stay tuned for the battle tomorrow going up. Well, it's not Friday when I'm recording this, but this goes up Friday, and the battle should be going up around 12 or 2. It's one of those. I don't know. We haven't decided yet. We actually have to play first before we can decide. But yeah, I hope to see you guys there. And yeah, until next time, guys. Later.